wake up, no time for sleeping on the issues. This is Neutral Voices, we gon' deal with the issues. Wake up.
Welcome to Neutral Voices, the place where your voice matters. And this is our Wednesday live segment where we laugh.
Inspire.
Vibe.
You know, what he says, he gonna get it right.
I'm gonna
But
get it
we
right.
laugh, inspire,
Vibe,
vibe,
and
and educate.
I heard Eric saying something, so I was waiting on him. I thought
I
I
was
was
starting to
talking
say it, but y'all act like y'all know it all. So
Yeah.
hey.
I was waiting on you. She jumped in.
Come to me
Listen.
for it next time.
No,
Okay,
no,
and
no.
okay, and the main thing is that we have a good conversation that's relevant to what's going on in the world today.
Yes, yes.
And so, guys, this is a pretty heavy subject.
Yes.
Easy
Easy.
but hard, right?
Deep.
I'm just
It's deep.
saying.
It's
I mean,
deep.
you know, you just have to call it what it is because
Yeah.
we getting ready to talk about love and hate.
Right. Which one winning?
Not
Love versus
necessarily
hate.
in relationships, though.
Right.
We talking about in general.
In
with
general, period.
everything
Period.
we do.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, you know, just one of the things I want to start off with, I didn't think we needed to define hate, but I do want to say this. One of the things, as far as I was doing some research, and it was saying that you can't define hate, but you can describe hate. And I
That's
kind of
interesting.
agree
That's
with
interesting.
that
Yeah, really
thought.
interesting.
And I was going to say, just, you know, coming out the door with that, how do you guys see that?
I think hate is perception. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I hate Brussels sprouts, but that kind of hate does not hurt other people.
Right.
So, I mean, depending on what you hate or where your hate is coming from, it's perception. Everything's perception. Hate is no different.
I don't say perception. I think hate is purposeful.
Okay.
I really think hate is purposeful. It's set out to harm, do harm, demean. I think it's all of that. I think it's purposeful. We say, like, you use hate for, you hate Brussels sprouts. That means you just really don't like them. But when you hate something or you hate someone, you set out in some way to demean
Right.
or hurt, either physically, mentally, or emotional, a person or a group of people.
Right, because my hate of Brussels sprouts doesn't affect other people,
Right.
but my hate of people is different.
Right.
So to me, that is, you know, that's your perception, your experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get too deep in that, do you believe either love or hate, do you believe it's taught at home, or are you born already being a certain way? How do you feel about that?
I think it's both of them is taught. That's my thought process.
So
That's my
so
opinion.
mom and dad is
they teach you to love.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way,
Period.
by the way they do things for you. You know, they teach you how to love.
And I got a head nod right here.
Okay,
I
I'm listening for
just
that.
want to say this to our viewers, listeners, etc. Please leave comments and kind of just chime in and questions, because we would love to know your viewpoint. Tomorrow is our Voice of the People segment, and we would love to be able to read your comments.
Yes, yes.
So, okay, with that.
It would be a perfect
shaking.
world if love, you know, if everybody were born to love. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. In my opinion, I feel like love is a learned concept. Take, for example, before you go,
You have to learn.
if you have a child who has been abused, molested, everything that's happened to them has been absolutely terrible. They are not being taught love. They are not being taught. In order to love, you need to know what love is. We are not born knowing. We are born needing love, needing affection, wanting to be nurturing, wanting to be nurtured. But I believe if hate can be taught, love
can be
is
taught.
taught as well.
Okay, we got a head shaking here.
Look
Let's
like
go
a
ahead and
bobblehead
deal with
doing
this head. Let's go ahead and deal with that.
Okay.
So see, you have a totally different perspective,
Right,
or
right.
direction.
Right. Truthfully. And I remembered, and it just slipped my mind, but there was a scientist. He was a sociologist. What he said is, you can take two babies, black, white, Mexican, Spanish, however you want to take them. You take them and you place them in an isolated place. They're going to grow together. They're going to love, because love is an inert, God-given gift. It's inert. You're born, contrary to what you say, Jill, you're born knowing what love is. There's no question. Love is in you. Now, if we were all born into inclusion and we didn't have these differences, we're not going to know what hate is. We need someone to tell us what hate is. Hate is taught. Love is inert.
Okay, so when you say we need someone, so somebody started teaching hate,
It came from somewhere.
planting the seeds
Yes.
of hate,
Yes.
long time ago.
Yes.
And okay, we got a hand up in the air.
I ain't gonna shake my hand.
If
I'm
his
just gonna
hands
pick-
up, it's
Okay,
serious.
I know. Let's go ahead and deal with that.
I'm trying to grasp what you're saying, and in order to love somebody, you have to learn how to, and somebody have to teach
You don't have to love.
Yes, you do.
Love. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Love is nothing that you have to be taught.
How
Love
come
is
it's not?
inert. You will learn to love before anything. And again, I really wish, and I'm gonna look it up if we
Please
switch
do.
off. But whoever this scientist was,
'Cause
and
I'm
he
not
said
understanding that.
that's how prejudice and everything and hate is everything. But if you take away everything, that they don't have knowledge that they're different and they grow together, they're gonna love each other because they're there together. You don't have to teach love. Love is something that's in you. Now you have to teach hate because hate teaches differences.
Okay.
There's no differences in love. Hate teaches differences.
Okay. All right, and so we can
go back
debate
and
this.
forth all
And
day.
so I can't
'Cause
wait to really hear other viewpoints on this particular thing. So so I can't help but think about the Bible, and so the Bible is full of obviously hate scriptures or and love scriptures,
Right.
and so there, when we go back to the beginning, and there was love,
Right.
obviously, and then we had the first murder,
Yes.
which happens to be two brothers.
Right.
Would you say that was hate or that was just jealousy and just
In
a
jealousy
situation
part
that-
of hate?
Well, and that's what I'm asking you. So hate has all these other things
Right,
surrounding
it's
it.
layered. Yeah.
Now, and I'm saying that because I believe people are not taught how to be jealous.
Right. But
I mean, from my perspective,
again,
it just happens.
you want to go biblically.
No, I'm just
No,
I'm
no,
just
I'm-
putting
I'm-
that one
I'm-
out
yeah,
there
yeah.
because it was about a gift of what they gave, and then the difference in the gifts, and
Right.
that one was blessed and one wasn't, and so one brother got mad, and so I'm just trying not to go into
Right.
all of. Okay,
I
so
got you.
my
I'm
point
following
is
you.
not the scripture or the Bible, but my point is that what does hate look like?
Hate looks like, it looks like us. Let's be honest. Hate looks like us. Whatever is in me that comes out hateful, that's what it looks like. It's either anger, it's either jealousy, it's either maliciousness, it's malice. That's all in hate. That's
Okay.
all in hate. So whatever, it looks like all of us. That's
Okay.
what hate looks like. That's why it can't be defined because each of us have a different viewpoint level of hate.
Okay, so we would just say that those brothers got older and somewhere in there living life day to day, jealousy, or
Right.
hate
Yes.
got in the way,
Yes.
some type of way.
Yes.
You look like you look like you had something. Did you
I'm
want to
just-
add something to that real quick
No,
before we?
I'm still stuck on the love situation.
Okay.
I'm still kind of stuck right there because I you married, right?
Yes.
Okay,
I believe so.
you believe so. You married though, right?
All right. Yes.
Okay, you had to learn to love your wife, right?
No.
Okay,
Let me. Can I clear this up?
I'm waiting.
Can I clear this up?
I'm trying to understand.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
waiting.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I did not have to
talking
learn
about
to
it.
love her. I had to learn to be in love with her, which is two different things. Loving is natural. Love means I will do none of y'all any harm for any reason.
Okay. Now
So
who taught you that?
to exactly?
It's inert.
No, who taught you
I have
that?
not been taught
He
that.
said-
You
I have not
have.
been taught that.
You
No,
said
that's
I
how
had-
I've always been. That's how I have always been.
Okay,
So that's
we're-
why I
we're
say
gonna-
it's inert.
We're gonna give you that, and we're gonna let him flow with that because I'm sure there's other people out there that believe the same thing. So now in society, I'm just saying I want to just kind of turn the corner just a little bit. In society, in our communities, what group or who would be more detrimental to our trajectory if they operated from a hate perspective?
Anybody in a leadership role, look at the president. We're talking about a nation. You're asking about a community, and I don't think it makes any difference because when I think of somebody in a leadership position, I feel like that is somebody who should lead with love always, regardless of the situation.
I agree. Anybody else?
I would say
Say
a
what you was
teacher.
gonna say. Teachers.
educators. If you are biased or have some kind of malice or contention with you being an educator and you're not properly going at it, look at and I know you say, Doc V, you don't want to be the dead horse, but look at this George Floyd thing. The police
No,
officer,
absolutely.
the people that and it was somewhere. If y'all remember, at Facebook, he was exposed. A paramedic here in Fort Wayne said that he wouldn't rush to help black people. It was on Facebook. He ended up, you remember that? He ended up getting banned.
Okay.
He had this. So if somebody, doctors, paramedics, somebody that's dependent on saving your life, they decide, oh, no, I'm not helping that person.
So doctors,
Of
of course,
paramedics,
and then and of
Police.
course police
Those
officers.
are those who are here to
Well,
serve
I'm,
and
I'm gonna tell you
protect.
another
Yes.
one. I really feel pastors.
Okay.
I mean, you look at there are over a lot of people, and if they worked under hate, just know how many people following hate
They would be affected.
Yeah, they would affect a lot of people.
Yeah, and especially they got a microphone in their hand.
right.
Yeah. So, so my other question is, when I start thinking about hate, so think about what's going on in the world today. Don't you believe that hate is on the stage right now? It seems like people are able to voice their hatred. They're more vocal about how they feel because of what?
Because of what Jill's answer was.
War and protesting, and anytime people are defending and they think it's a good cause.
Right.
So today, what we are dealing with and we're faced with in America,
Right.
and then you said, and then let's bring
What-
the president.
Well, no,
That was one thing.
I'm gonna say one
but-
thing about that.
Okay.
Dr. V, is a lot of. I honestly think what you say. Say you don't like something that I do. That's your opinion.
Okay.
Now, when you voice that opinion and my feelings get hurt, now you got to cater to other people's feelings.
Right.
A lot of times it's not hate, but you catering. Now I got to cater to this person's feelings about how I say and what I say.
But
And
sometimes it is hate, though.
I can halfway agree with you. Finish your point, and then I'm.
I mean, I just look at it like this: if I say something that you don't like, you can say it's hate, but it's just something that I don't like.
right.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and a lot
So-
of times
Right,
we do that out of
absolutely.
love. We do like for instance, if you tell somebody that you care about, that they need help or that they shouldn't do this or whatever, you're speaking from a point of love, but how they perceive it could come from hate. I mean that's an excellent point.
Their perception.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, but I'm saying, to be truthful, when we look at the news and we
Right,
look at
right.
things that's going on in our community, and we understand all of this black on black crime and
Right.
people killing people and shooting people over $200 or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Are you saying that hate is not a part of that?
It is, but
Yeah.
Because it seems like we don't want to call hate
Right.
when it's okay to do that, because even the Bible refers to times of hating.
Yes.
But let's be real too. With so much influence right now on social media and every place else, there's a bandwagon of hate. So you
Yes.
could have somebody that says something, and everybody else, love is there too, but we don't hear about it nearly as often as we hear about hate. The things when black and white people get together. The good things that the black community does. You don't hear about stuff like that. You hear about the hate. You hear about the crime. You hear about the shootings. That is what the media pushes down our throat. That is hard for people to not jump on that bandwagon because they trust so much in the media. But
Right.
you hear hate. You hear it. It's in your face, but love is there too.
Well,
Right.
think about it. Drama sells, and they have to have your attention. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to give you something that's going to grab your attention.
Right.
If I tell you something that feel good, sooner or later, I'm just not going to watch
Right.
it. I need that drama. I need that, and that's where hate is. That brings that drama. That brings that challenge. That brings that, some people to a point of excitement or whatever it is.
So is there something good about hate?
There's good things about hate. There's
Okay.
some things you should hate. There's some things you should.
There's
hate.
some things you should hate, but let's talk about what's the good part
Well,
about hating.
going back to that for a second, because I just wanted to bring something up. Think about how you professed any kind of hate 25 years ago. What kind of a platform did you have to profess that hate? Who was going to hear you? somebody at the grocery store. I mean, you didn't have the
Stand on the
platforms
street.
that you have now,
Right.
even
That's
for the
true.
president. We didn't have social media, for presidency back then. Right now, everybody has a platform, whether they choose to profess hate with it or
Mm-hmm.
love. That's why we're hearing so much about it.
Absolutely.
We all have a spot, and everybody hears everything we say, and it never was like that before.
Yes.
I got a question.
Yes.
Do y'all think hate is an action?
Yes.
I
It's
believe
an
they're
action.
both.
It's a feeling.
Yes.
Like love. It's an action and a
Absolutely.
feeling. I believe it's an action.
And so then we have two sides. So just like way back in the day, and I don't want to keep using the Bible, but like the Jews and the Gentile, and then like today, the saints and the sinners.
Right.
And then you have people that hate a certain group of people.
Right.
Just because they believe in certain things or they
Right.
don't believe in
Exactly.
certain things. And so, I'm saying, so when we look at that, I would say truly, we're obviously living in a world of hate. And it's not going to change. We're going to have love and hate, period. But now when you begin to raise a child, because we're talking about teaching this particular thing, whether it's love or hate, if you're raising your children and you begin to tell them that they shouldn't do X, Y, Z, or they shouldn't be with this group of people, are
Right.
you teaching them to dislike
Yes.
that group
Absolutely.
of people
Absolutely.
and to
Yes.
hate that group of
Yes.
people?
Yes.
And so is there a way to teach them how to function with these people and not?
Yes.
Leading by example is huge. It's everything.
Absolutely.
If you are looking at a certain crowd of people and saying that we should be afraid of these people or these people are bad, or the news showing everybody these people are bad, these people are bad. It's all about education, and not just that. It's about empathy. Perfect example. If I am a white woman and I'm raising a 15-year-old white son, I'm going to worry about his grades. I'm going to worry about his health. I'm going to worry about those things. But what I will never worry about is him getting shot because he's in the wrong place at the wrong time because he has a hood up. Because my friend who has a black son worries about that. So I learned to put myself in her shoes to understand the frustration of two different lives of parenting, raising children. People do not know how to put themselves in other people's position. They
Right.
don't know empathy. They don't know altruism.
Exactly.
They don't know that.
And Jill, like we were talking a little bit before, and I was saying, as far as some white people, a lot of white people or some white people, they only know about black people what they have heard from other white people.
Right.
Right.
And so therefore, they're hearing it from a source that's not reliable, and so they only know what they know.
Yep.
Right.
And for
And-
a lot of those times, you can have a very loving person who is white that just grows up in a community that has no diversity. That's why we, as people, as white
Absolutely.
people, need to put ourselves in places so that we can learn to understand.
Exactly.
That is everything.
I'm with you, Clarence.
that-
Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead, Clarence. I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. All right, Jim. Dr. V, both of y'all. And I want y'all to understand because this word was thrown around a couple of times and it hit me. Does empathy equal love?
No.
Right. There's a lot of people of different races that empathize with people of different races, but they don't love them. They're not going to go out there and do something for them. They just, I feel bad for them.
Well, and that brings me to the word I just used, altruism. When you are somebody who's practicing altruism, you are caring about another person, even if it puts you in jeopardy. We were talking the other day about why all these people didn't run up and help George Floyd. Well, why do you?
They
why-
felt bad for them. They
Absolutely.
felt empathy.
They
Yeah,
did. They
empathy
felt
for 'em.
empathy, but they did not take the next step, and they didn't go help because
Well, they
were
tried
worried
to.
about
Some of them did
Exactly.
try
Yeah,
to.
some of them
So they tried to.
But we
now.
say that all the time. The video of the Asian woman getting
Getting
stumped.
stumped
How
in
many
the face.
people ran to her rescue? How many of them felt
Zero.
empathy? But
That's
how
right.
many went and acted on it?
And guess what? A truth is that people don't understand. Sometimes people love because they don't have the courage to hate.
Right.
In certain situations, you should hate certain things.
Yes.
Because even in the Bible, when it says that in Proverbs, it talks about he hate, certain things. Jesus hate certain things.
Yes.
And certain things were an abomination. And he
Yes,
talks
yes.
about the 6 or the 7 sins.
Yes.
That was an example of it's okay. It's okay to hate because you can't love this sin or you can't love this thing and yet love me at the same time.
Can I ride with that,
Yes,
Dr. V?
yes.
I agree. Our community and our neighborhoods have a problem with not hating certain things. We have drug dealers that live next door to us that's causing all kind of chaos.
And you don't have the courage
but
to
we don't
hate
have
that.
right. We don't have the courage to hate that. We should hate that. Child molesters in our neighborhood, we should hate that. Because these are things that are bringing our neighborhood down, that are harming our
Absolutely.
people, our culture, and all of that. But we don't. We good at minding our own business, and that's what I'm saying. Yes, we should hate that. We should hate it enough to get it out of our neighborhood, to make our neighborhoods better. But no, we accept it. So yeah, there are times where we should hate certain things.
And that's why I said, and so the truth is, I'm a Christian, but Christianity is hesitant to hate or to show hatred toward certain things. I'm just saying. It
It's
seems
true.
like
Well,
they,
I'm gonna ask you a question.
they won't even
Yeah.
examine hatred.
When you say they should hate it enough to get it out their neighborhood, why can't you flip and say they should love their neighborhood enough?
You can do that
It's
too.
the same
remove.
thing. It's the
So,
same.
I mean,
well,
like-
hold on. I see your point, Ian. I want to clarify before you misunderstand what I'm
No,
saying.
I'm not
if you don't
understanding
mind.
what you're saying, but I mean, why not, instead of saying hate, why not say I'm gonna love my neighborhood, or I'm gonna love my enough to say I got to get you out of here.
I agree with that.
Instead of, hate is a very strong word,
Right.
but
it's
when
needed. And go ahead.
When you hate something, is and like you said, God hated certain things,
Uh-huh.
but He also talk about love. So we put so much emphasis on hate, we forget to
Right.
say love. I mean, and that's the biggest
I agree,
thing.
but
Absolutely.
Can I clear this up?
Okay,
for you?
go ahead.
I don't. We're saying the same thing, but I want you to understand what I'm saying.
But
too.
let's speak life instead of.
I'm not speaking deaf. I'm not.
But I love it that
yeah.
you always want to
Yeah.
be the
And I
positive
life.
speaker.
I mean,
with
that's
you
what
on
I-
that.
Okay,
I'm-
let's,
that's my
let's,
key.
let's see where
I'm with you
Clarence
on
is
that.
going to
I'm
go.
with you on that.
Go ahead.
And this
I'm
is-
sip it.
this-
And Clarence, as you're cleaning that up, you're cleaning it up and you can ready to seal this up, I want you to keep in mind the people that's riding around with these certain flags, these Confederate flags,
Right.
in the back of their truck. They have this
Patriotism.
patriotic, yes, and love to the point where they hate.
Right.
And so I'm just saying, there is a thin line, and it's crossing over.
and I'm gonna combine both
Okay,
of those.
okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm listening.
I'm
I'm still
okay,
listening.
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna combine both of them.
All right.
You are absolutely right about speaking love into something, but here's the problem: we love and love stuff too much. We let it go. It says love will cover a multitude of sins. We love enough stuff that we just let it go. We just let it, because we love Ray Ray selling. We love Ray Ray. We overlook what Ray Ray doing.
Right.
So we love Ray Ray. So we won't turn Ray Ray in. But the problem is when Ray Ray kills somebody, when Ray Ray do something, we should, as she was saying, those Confederate people, they love that dead country. Let's make that a point. That country is dead, so I don't know why they love it anyway. But they love it enough that they want to remove certain things out of the way that don't line up with what they want. So that's what I'm saying. If you want your neighborhoods and your community to flourish, thrive, you can't love Ray Ray to the point where you just let Ray Ray do anything. You got to hate what Ray Ray's doing, and you can love him enough to stop it. Love the person, but hate the sin.
And I understand that. That's
So
what
you
I
love
mean, that's
him
where I'm
enough
going with
to
it.
either talk to him or that's what I'm
Hey.
saying. You hate the actions. You hate the things that's going on. I'm not saying hate the person. You hate the things that's going on that you want to remove it from your presence. And that's how
Okay,
those
and a lot of
Confederate
times
people
that's
are.
your enemy. I mean, you want to remove your enemy. You don't.
Yes.
Okay. So, would you say that you have an enemy?
I think we all do.
Okay. So, if you had to identify your enemy, what does your enemy look like?
Anybody that has anything. Now, I think Eve said this earlier, and you were on it. Now, correction does not mean that I'm hating, and I think that's in the common vernacular now, and that's where Eve was going. If I tell you something counter to what you're thinking, not if it's, even if it's right, but it's counter to what you're thinking. Oh, why you hating? That's not
Why
hate.
you hate?
Why you hate?
Right.
But now, if you have a total different agenda,
Okay.
a total different aspect, a total different malice, then that's my enemy.
Okay.
I can't tell you who it is,
Let-
but I can tell you
what
what
it
it is.
is.
Okay, and I'm going to make sure I refer to my notes on this because I don't want to miss this. But there's actually 3 different types of enemies. And so, but one enemy that I want to speak about is an enemy that most of us have to deal with on a daily basis. And you need to be able to identify your enemy.
Right.
And this is definitely for you. there's an enemy that may be in your house.
Yes.
Or there's an enemy that may be in your family.
Yes.
Or there's an enemy that you have become intimate with in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
And so that enemy is a different enemy because you have to treat them a different way.
Right.
And that's the enemy that is sometimes hard for us to fall out of love or out of relationship with.
Yes.
Because then you have
Point at me
to,
for?
That's what I was going to.
Oh, wait,
I was
wait.
going
You
to
pointing
put
at
my
me
point
'cause-
to E.
and then you have to.
I just think it out loud, but my
Okay.
point is E. I'm gonna go back and rebut that with E.
You said okay. Make
Yeah.
make a note. Put,
Yeah.
put a
Put a
bookmark
pin on that. I got that.
Okay,
Because I'm
and
ready
so-
for you.
Okay, so I
Trust
just
me.
want to. So I want to use my notes real quick. So in this intimate relation, or this intimate enemy, let's just say that, when you need to fix this relationship, that's when you're going for reconciliation. You have to have a will to reestablish. You have to have confession about error
Right.
to one another.
Right.
You have to say, I made a
Right.
mistake. You have to
Right.
come to them in that way. And you're seeking to restore that relationship.
Right.
But then you have another enemy where it could be a group of people that you dislike.
Right.
And now, for whatever reason, you guys have chosen to remain in this position. You don't like these people, like the people right now that's against the police because of that situation that happened.
Right.
Okay, they may need to be able to go back into a place and talk and come together. And then, but it's harder to love these people. But because you are not loving them, or if you choose to love them, I should say, doesn't mean that you're condoning or you agree. Like how some people are about homosexuals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, in that whole arena. And then there's the third enemy, which is personal or impersonal, and it could be religious or political.
Right.
Like our view of the president.
Yeah.
Right.
Or the parties.
Or the
Yeah.
parties.
Yes. And so
Or-
we don't have to ever restore a relationship
Right.
because we never really had
Right,
a
right,
relationship.
right.
And so, and I just brought that question up because, when you start talking love and hate, you need to understand who the enemies are and what that actually means. And then you have to remember that in the Bible, it also says for us to love our neighbors. And some people don't even
Even
know
as
who.
yourself.
Yes. Love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't even know who their neighbors are.
Right.
And so to put it very plainly, every man is every other man's neighbor.
Correct.
And
Correct.
that kind of says that everybody
Is your neighbor.
is
Right.
your neighbor.
And it's a big deal because we can't ever examine the heart of another person. I don't know where your heart is. I don't know what you're feeling, but I know
Right.
where my heart is. And I know
Exactly.
where I'm at. So,
Exactly.
they say one person cannot change the world, and we all know that's that one person is not going to change the world. But love is a snowball effect.
That's true.
If I love, even if we are born with it, there are some people who don't know how to love. I mean, you see it in marriages, you see it in relationships, you see people with their children. I have ran across people and literally sponsored them, and these people do not know how to love.
And then what do? When we run
love-
across those
Right,
people,
right.
we show them.
We show them what love is.
So you
We show
teach
them.
them
You teach them.
what love
get it.
What love
is.
is.
Because
I get
I'm
it.
still, like I
get
said, there's
Okay,
no
y'all,
way.
I know. Okay,
No,
go ahead.
There's
we'll
no-
be here all night.
But there's no
Finish
way.
your point.
There's no way that love is just automatically.
Love is
Because the
automatic.
simple fact, if you got to teach hate, you have to
Yeah.
teach love.
And love is harder. Hate is visceral. Hate is simple. It is so easy to hate. You don't have to go beyond anything, especially when you have been taught to hate a person, group, anything. It takes
Absolutely.
nothing. To love takes honesty. It takes integrity.
No.
There's a long, long list.
Oh, they don't
of
take that?
things
The
that it
ethical
takes
enterprise.
To love someone.
Okay, I
Yes.
gotta hear
You
this
have to love
one.
them
No.
unselfishly.
That's
I mean,
right.
the list goes
No.
on. But to hate, you
Yes.
say, I hate you. Why? Because.
No.
And
I hate
when
you because you're black.
When
I
you
hate you
operate
because you're
in,
this.
in hate, you just basically
Right.
put your ethics, morals, and values to the
side.
side.
Right.
Okay, go ahead. Queen.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Because
This could be deep. But
Just,
I'm going to
just
tell
pause
you.
real quick.
Cool.
This is Neutral Voices, and just reminding you, don't forget to click like and share and subscribe to our YouTube page.
And I'm gonna make this quick because we're gonna have to get out of here
Okay,
sooner or later.
we-
We're gonna
yes.
be.
We ain't gotta
talking
go
about
nowhere.
this.
We can go.
But let me tell you again. I'm telling you, and y'all got to learn for yourself. Love takes nothing. It takes nothing
takes
to love.
everything.
No,
It
it
takes
doesn't. We
everything.
make those things to have to love. Love takes nothing. Love is simply I will do you no harm. That's love right there. I will do you no harm. And if you do me no harm, that means you won't find me different. You won't do anything.
Hey,
It
Clarence.
takes nothing. Hold.
Go ahead, sir. I apologize.
It takes nothing to love. It takes no thought to love. Love is an inert thing. Look, research it. That's all I got to
If
tell you.
it takes
Research it.
nothing, then why does it hurt so bad when you lose somebody
Because
that you
you-
love? If not,
That, okay, and I'm gonna break that down to y'all. See, here's where y'all missing it out.
You about to call it simple. That's what you was about to say. I read your mind.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, come
Not
on.
camera. But they have breakdowns of
Okay.
love because people mistake it and they think where it is.
Break
But
it
love,
down.
love does not there. All right, what you're talking about is love. The first love is Philos love. Mm-hmm. That's why they call Philadelphia the city of brotherly love. They stand
Brotherly
out to
love.
Philly. Philos means that's the love, the affectionate love, but not the intimate love. You know, Doc V, I tell you all the time, I love you because I do. There's nothing that you've done that made me love you other than be you.
Right.
But that means I will do anything for you.
Thank you.
I will take care of you. I love all of y'all. That means that I will do anything for y'all.
Yes.
That nothing made me or taught me to love y'all. I just love y'all. Nothing taught me that I need to love E. Hold on. I'm gonna break it down. Now, there's pragma love. That's that enduring love. That's that love when you have pragma. Hold on, because I want to group them together. Pragma and philothea love. Those are loves for your families. That's that enduring love. That's that love that you grow with people. That's your parents, and that's that love y'all talking about y'all learn.
But-
You don't have to learn it. That's already in you. Hold on. That's where you grow. Those are the love that grows in you. They grow in you.
Okay.
Eros love, romantic love.
Shoot that one. Shoot that one.
You said Eros?
Eros.
Shoot that one.
That's where they get
Hold on.
that Cupid with the
Yeah,
arrow.
yeah.
the
Shoot that
bow.
one.
Hold on.
Yes.
That Eros love. You asked me, was I in love with my wife or did I have to learn? No. You saw a chick that you was like, oh man, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with her at one point in time. You didn't know that you were in love with her at the time. You didn't have to grow to love her. Something about you told you right then and there, I love her. And I'm gonna get her. You didn't have to figure it out. You knew it. It grew more, but you didn't
figure it
have
out.
to.
hold on.
I mean, because I'm finna.
I'm going to let you finish, but I just have to intercept. So if love is so simple and easy, why does it take so many words and so long for you to describe it? When we talked about hate, we were just like, boom, this is hate.
Because
but if love is simple, why are these words so long that
you
they're
are simple.
almost hard to
I had to
pronounce?
say it because you are simple. That's the problem. We
Hey,
are
Clarence.
simple beings. We are.
Clarence, I'm
we-
gonna ask you a
we
question.
Make,
No,
hold
no.
on.
You're gonna stop
It's
cutting me
simple.
off. You're gonna
Here,
stop
hold on,
holding
let
me
me
on.
finish. Let me
You got to
finish.
stand out with the shirt
Let
and
me
everything
finish.
tonight.
Let me finish. I'm gonna stand out with the shirt since you want it, but I'm gonna stand right now. I'm going training day on y'all.
This is-
I'm gonna training day
This
on
is
y'all.
the Neutral Voices, love and hate is what we're
But
talking
we're gonna get
about
out of here.
tonight.
We're gonna get
No,
out of
we
here.
ain't. I'm gonna say what I need to say before we leave.
Hold on. But let me tell you, E, seriously, we make everything harder than what it is. God said love. That's all he said. God is love. That's it. He didn't give you a whole description of what love is. And he said love everybody as you love me. He didn't give you a roadmap to love. He just said one thing, love.
And
now,
that's
am I
right.
wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
That is
and he
simple.
would
So
meet
that
you
means-
exactly where you were.
Yeah. So that
And-
means that it takes nothing to love.
Absolutely.
Then why doesn't
Well,
everybody just love?
Does everybody believe in God?
But even people that believe in
Hey,
God
Clarence,
commit
I
crimes
got a
and are
question for you,
hateful.
Clarence. And I'm just gonna be nice and settle with my question.
Oh,
Come on, Cletus.
When you was born, your mom had to show you love to get through all them what you just showed.
No.
Let me finish. You
Go
done.
ahead,
You
go
said
ahead,
what you
go
needed
ahead,
to
go ahead,
say.
go ahead.
It's my turn, and I
Preach,
said
brother,
I'm
preach.
gonna be very
Okay.
settled with this.
Okay, be settled.
If your mom didn't feed you,
Mm-hmm.
then hold you, then cuddle you, then make sure when you was sick, she was there. You learned that. That's where the teaching come from.
I
Don't you say a
totally
word.
disagree.
Don't you say a word.
Okay.
That's where the learning come from. From birth.
I totally
If your
disagree.
mom, I'm like, if your mom, that whoever scientist you was talking about, when we put them kids together, they was taught to love before they got put together.
No.
I'm gonna tell you how they was taught to love, because they had a parent that nurtured them. So that's how you learn to love.
I totally disagree. I totally disagree.
I mean,
Love
do me-
takes nothing.
do
Love
me a
takes
favor.
nothing.
Go trip yourself.
Y'all so silly. Listen.
But I love you, E.
But I love you too.
So one of the things I want to say, I'm glad y'all spread the love. But one of the things I wanted to say is, have you ever thought about this real quick? And I know we do have to get out of here, but isn't it interesting that in the Bible there's no respecter of person, and it says that it rains on the just and the unjust.
That's love. That's
and
love.
I'm just putting it out there so we can kind of think about that. And then on another side of things, have you ever thought about that certain people you have a intimate relationship with, or you're cool with, your friends or family, whatever it is, and I'm gonna say they hide behind, or there's this curtain of protection that something happens all of a sudden when they get real angry,
Right.
that they begin to tell you how they really feel.
Right.
And they give you a piece of their mind.
Right.
You know,
And it can be out of love, or it can be out of frustration, or it could be out of
and-
hate.
that's
And
what I
how
was
they
gonna
come
say.
to you.
And so, so that's one of the things that I start thinking about. So when that happens to people and they get that angry, if we're really going to show them an example of love, how do we handle that? We need to do what? What y'all just did.
Yes, I was going to agree. But here's my downfall with love. I try to love everybody. I really do. But I have one flaw in love.
Okay.
I have not learned to turn the other cheek yet.
Clearly.
I have not.
Well,
Well, you can say anything to me. You can talk to me.
That's
in a way.
turning the other cheek when you can walk away
turning
from
the
it.
other cheek is when you put your hands on me. Oh, all love is lost.
Well, and you know what? And I can dig that. But, I say that because do you realize, like in the Bible, when it says, and it kind of says it's okay to be angry, but it says be angry
And sin not.
but sin not.
Yes, that means
And-
don't put your hands on.
and-
I won't put my hands on you. That's
And
also
so-
love.
and so-
You deserve for me to slap you, but I'm just gonna say I'm gonna walk away from this.
Okay, and so one of the things I wanted to say is, for all of us, that we're human.
We are.
And we're going to have these emotions,
Yes.
and we're going to love sometimes, we're going to hate sometimes, we're going to hate our vegetables, and we're going to, love our macaroni and cheese, et cetera, et cetera. So we understand love and hate from that perspective. But one thing that we need to make sure we walk away with is knowing that hatred actually begins to destroy the core of the person that's carrying the hate.
Yes.
And so therefore, it's not smart and it's not wise.
Right. And it's heavy.
to
It's heavy.
to continue to stay in hate.
Right.
So if there's somebody that you're hating, then you might want to let that go, because it's going to eat away at the core of your soul and cause you pain and problems. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Jill because I know she has something amazing.
We must find the love again. We must hold hands instead of grudges. Keep the faith more than we keep score. It is up to no one else but us to mend the wounds of the world. We hear a lot about the hate that is going on, that sometimes seems to overshadow the love. But the love is there. It is present. Sometimes it just hides underneath the hatred that torments our world at times. And the truth is, the world has been broken for quite some time. Love will always be the antidote. Show kindness, not judgment. Put yourself in the hearts and shoes of one another. Prayerfully take a look at your own heart. Ask God to reveal any prejudice or hate that exists and root it out. In a world that can often seem so dark, we can be the light that guides another to be kind, to love more, the light that becomes the glisten of hope for someone who has been suffering so greatly. The only way that we will ever win this war on hate is through love. Perhaps one person alone cannot make a difference in this world with simply their love, but when our hearts are aligned with God's heart, we spread love. We are never in this alone. We cannot be. You will always have the audacity to be beautiful, even on the days when everything around you seems anything but.
Wow. Beautiful.
I
And
get
you
that.
know what? And Jill, that was so perfect. And so I wanted to say this. This was something that I read and I thought, wow, I got to share this real quick. Development of hatred is death to the spirit. Jesus rejected hatred because it was death to the mind, the spirit, and the soul. And so if we keep that thought in mind, I'm telling you, you will make a decision, because I believe to love is a choice. This is Neutral Voices. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully we see you tomorrow for the Voice of the People. Don't forget to leave a comment, click like and share, and join us on our YouTube page.
Yes.
Right? And we'll
Yes,
see you back
yes,
tomorrow.
yes.
Have a good night.
Wake up, no time for sleeping on the issues. This